Hello, everybody, and welcome to a little bit late starting restream here. We have Wind Waker Randomizers, the first seeding race we have for Tournament Season 3. I will hand it off to my commentators here, Montgol and Melone. One or something?
I
Just
think it's
Melon is
pronounced
fine.
Hello everyone. Welcome to another Wind Waker Randomizer race. This is the first one of this tournament. This is just seeding though. Like we just said, uh, we're seeding people to then put them up against people to start the tournament. So yeah, this is very important. This may not look like it. This may be a bit late, but the runners are ready. Finally, are you, Melon?
I'm ready.
You're ready. And we also have a tracker here. His name is Jared. Jared, are you ready too? I'm gonna take your silence for a yes. So before we start, I will take a few seconds to go over the settings for this race. So the settings are pretty easy, but very long to say. Basically, we have a bunch of the. This randomizer has a bunch of categories for checks that can be turned on and off. So we only turn on the next ones, which are dungeons, puzzles, secret caves, short side quests, great fairies, tingle chests, free gifts, and mail. Also, we start with the sword. We play in race mode. Race mode is a mode where only 4 of the 6 dungeons in the game will be required, and all 4 bosses from those dungeons will have the 4 Triforce shards we need to complete the seed. Also, we use the community tweaks that follow, which are the Swiss Cell to go faster. We skip the boss rematches. We have instant text boxes. We add some shortcut warp between dungeons, and we reveal the full seed chart. Also, optional, you can invert your x-axis, but it doesn't really matter in this setting. And also, we start with the bed bag, so we can get ints. That's a new thing from the last tournament. That's about it. Wow, that was long. I'm out of breath. So the two runners seems to be going for a little trick that is called Diamond Step Early. Basically, there's a big octo next to Diamond Step. If you jump in the middle of the whirlpool, you get warped on top of the island. And J-Wist just made it in. Wow. Meanwhile, Wins will have to save and come back to try again. Also, as you might have noticed on J-West's side, he just did a little trick called a Wind Waker dive to get under the island, which Wins is gonna do too. It allows him to pop back up at another spot on this island, which allows him to enter the puzzle secret cave that is on Diamond Step. And yes, for the people wondering in chat, there's a bunch of skins. A bunch of very talented modeling artists are on the server and pretty much produce a bunch of skins that you might see the cloud skin, for example, on one side. J-West seems to be playing with only the regular Link, but there's a bunch of them. There's so many that there's even pretty joke ones, like you can play simple flips if you want. That's a possibility. And only pieces of art. A pretty disappointing first logic break, but it's not so bad because we have many more logic breaks That might pay off later.
Many, many more.
If you guys don't know it yet, there's a simple rule about Wind Waker randomizer, and the rule is that there is no rules. Every single glitch is allowed. You can do everything. So you might even see them do fancy stuff like go through walls. Get ready, because everything is possible in the realm of Wind Waker randomizer. And now talking about little logic breaks, J-West is now adding for an island called Gift Plateau, which is an island where we have access to one chest, but there is two chests. We're gonna use another little trick to get through that requirement. Normally you need the leaf to go to the second chest, but we're gonna use a little trick called storage. As you saw, J-Wiz did another Wind Waker dive and canceled it just before touching the ground, which gave in the dry storage. Dry storage, which is a state where Link will store the next cutscene he enters in. And we're gonna abuse that by opening the first chest there. When you open a chest with storage, it gives you but basically, it skips the cutscene, but it gives you the collisions that Link has during those cutscenes. So you get to do fancy things like walking up walls and just kind of going through the barrier here. And just because we don't like to leave our little storage alone, we do another one on top of the island. Don't worry, guys. We're gonna soon be into more normal stuff. But before the normal stuff comes the crazy stuff. And you guys might have heard of the famous bear skip. But, well, in this version of the randomizer, we can't do the bear skip, but we have an adequate replacement here on Bird's Peak Island. There's a barrier, we're gonna skip it, we're just gonna pretend it's bear skip.
The only barrier skip that matters.
Yeah, that's the best bear skip. And bear skip done by J-Wist. Meanwhile, Wynn's trying to get his second Wind Waker drop. Meanwhile, J-Wist making the chest appear on Bird's Peak. And a leaf on Bird's Peak. That's a good start of the seed. Also confirms that guy in chat named Frostbite wasn't right about the leaf being on pop print in his little fake spoiler. So leaf, that opens up a bunch of possibilities. Very nice item, it allows you to break even more logic. Example might allow our runner to get even more chests on an island that's gonna come up later. Who knows? And with Recram finally taking off from Cliff Plateau. Meanwhile, Jay warp to Windfall and now is heading for the Northern Fairy Island. It's a fairy island that has no requirements to get in, so it's a free Sphere 1 check. Pretty interesting to get early on. It's time to watch the first Great Fairy cutscene of this seed. Oh, and a skull hammer for Jay West.
Another good find.
Yes, another good item. I still haven't watched to see which dungeons are going to be required in this seat. Didn't think about it. But every time that they warp, we get to see which dungeons are required because they are highlighted on the map. So if you guys open your eyes, we might see it in the next warp. Okay, so no Forsaken Fortress and no Wind Temple. Which means we have Dragon Roost Cavern, Forbidden Woods, Tower of the God, and our temple as our 4 required dungeons for the night.
Good set of dungeons, in my opinion.
Yep, it's a very good set of dungeon even. We might see a few crazy tricks.
Hopefully.
I mean, I am just here for the crazy tricks. Well, when the runners are not going through walls, I'm bored. And Jawis is gonna activate the most important quest on Windfall, really. It's the quest where you chase the little kids. You play hide and seek with them. It's a fancy quest because you can do other quests in between chasing the kids. So you can kind of route everything on the island while doing that quest. It's how Windfall begins and it's how Windfall ends most of the time.
Wind's getting the Great Fairy now. It's gonna find that hammer.
Commerce is very interesting. It opens up 2 fairy islands on the overworld already, which will be the Torn Fairy Island and I think it's the southern, not the southern one, the western one. The names are very confusing to me. All the fairy islands kind of look the same. I wish they used different like seashells for the islands. Would have been
Yeah.
pretty.
They would be a lot more recognizable if that were the case.
And here comes catching the Ivan, which is the leader of the gang and also one of the most annoying kids to catch because on the way to catching him, there's a guy walking. His name is Anton. If you talk to him, he will make you lose time, and it's very easy to talk to him. Oh, and it's time to mingle with Tingle. What is he in jail for tonight? Charts. Okay. Apparently, having charts is illegal. Oh, and Tingle as the Tingle Rupee. Tingle Vanilla. I guess. So, for the people that don't know, the Rainbow Rupee is something that was modified in the randomizer to look like it has every single color of rupees possible. And it's worth a whopping 500 rupees. It's the biggest rupee in the game, and we got it in the first 15 minutes. Incredible. We're already rich. Now, time for a bit of dance with Dot, which gave us the Nehru's Pearl. I guess a pearl kind of looks like a disco ball, so it fits.
Sure does.
I mean, I can't dance with that. Never forget that there's a third kid hidden behind the tombstone. Now we gotta catch the fourth kid, which is behind the bomb shop. And if you do this little jump, you can avoid settling altogether, which is fun. Wins is gonna go get his chart and his insane amount of rupees. While Jay was gonna finish the quest with the kids and get Hurricane Spin. Oh man, this is one of those seeds. One of those seeds with Hurricane Speed. They're gonna be useful.
Oh, what was that?
Useful in our temple, man.
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
Oh, and delivery bag from Miss Mary. That's very nice to get on your first time on Windfall because it allows you to get the town flower for a trading side quest later. They might even want to do that side quest now because we have access to the town flower, and you can trade on great fish for both of the trades for the exotic flower, and then get an extra item from Zuneri. And also, right next to Great Fish, there is another fairy fountain that they can access with the Scalamar, so that could be interesting. Oh. It was taking the time to talk to the sailor before leaving. For good luck.
It's always nice to say hello.
Yeah. If you don't say hello and you just sail away, the guy is just gonna be like, oh, okay. Have a good trip, I guess. So now we're going for paw print. And before entering paw print, there's an important detail. You can talk to those guys here. The Salvage Corps. Which is a bunch of guys that hunt treasures. And they have a treasure for us tonight. Tail shot! I'd like to point out that those guys have like scuba diving equipment, but they also wear Speedos. I love them. When it's getting easier, we can spin. While J-West is gonna go in Puppet. In Logic, you can only access one item here, but where we're going, we don't need Logic.
Logic is definitely not necessary for these runners.
So it was found out between that near the end of the last tournament that there's a point on this wall where you can settle. And if you settle between the wall and the rock, you can get on top of the rock. And get the chest behind it. Oh, and that's the arrow upgrade. It's gonna be nifty when we have a bow and arrow, but now it's kinda just sitting in the bag. And yes, shout out to Frostbite, which is in chat, and actually found that technique. And Joe is going back in the cave, because we're not done breaking logic. We're gonna settle behind that rock again. Oh, meanwhile, Wins is going for Great Fish. He has his town flower. He's gonna go do the trading side quest, which is a lot less long than people expect. It's probably gonna head for that fairy island that is closed by after. It's pretty fun to see a good bit of divergence already between the two runners.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, and Jay is going for the third chest with the leaf. And we get an empty bottle. That can hold so many liquids. And also fairies. But according to the programmation of the game, fairies count as liquids. It's kind of weird. And Wins is going to get his hookshot from the Salvage Corp, but on another island. Those guys are on a bunch of islands. There's multiple ways to find them.
Yep, and Jay is heading to Great Fish now.
Not a bad plan. Not a bad plan. And when this is going to be the first into the Fairy Island, though, we're going to get to see what he's going to find first. So am I the only one that every time we get an object that is not randomized, I still wonder what I'm going to get? Like I hear the music and I'm like, oh, what is it gonna be? What is it gonna be? All right, I'm turning flowers. Oh, grappling hook for wins.
Always a
So
great
yes.
find.
Yes, it is. Getting his grappling hook before going to Poprin for the first time.
Yeah, so that'll put
Have
him
access.
one check ahead
Yes.
for sure.
Let's see if Jay is gonna be tempted to go back to Poprin for this one check, though. Wins making a pit stop on Windfall to see what Zuneri has for him. It's Maggie's letter. That's another check on Windfall. We're not gonna mail that yet, though. Oh, and Jay taking a ferry with him. Both good healing and so good way to heal our grandma. Because remember, kids, if you don't heal your grandma, you're evil.
Always gotta save Grandma.
Yeah.
Gotta get that soup.
Even if somehow don't save grandma in the sea, then we'll go back to save her after. It's just not right, man. Oh, and Jay deciding that since he's on Windfall and it's the night, he's gonna do the melee check. So the melee check is a very strange check because you have to wait for her to go around the island and go steal something in the safe in the shop. But if you want to do stuff while waiting for it, you can. So we're gonna activate the Wilmir. Talking about Wind. Wind's got 200 rupees from Bowprint, the extra check. It was killing time. Practicing quick spins, banging a little. Now just kind of waiting. This is the best part of the seed. So much action. Let's getting his extra arrows for later. Oh, and what do I see on my screen? It's Mela. Oh, and Mila as Pharaoh's Pearl. That's an extra check. Because the Pharaoh's Pearl unlocks the mail from Komali's father. Komali's father, who has a very unfortunate name, if you think about it. Because before he had a son, it would have sounded very weird to say, "Oh, I'm Komali's father." Oh, Joe is getting his Aggies letter. And a fourth piece of art from Komali's father. It was a love letter. Kinda strange. And Jewis mails Maggie's letter. Nope. Get on paw print, you can just settle on a wall, get on top of a rock, and just jump off into the void. It's very interesting. So I've said it many times, but I am extremely jealous of the quickness of deliveries in the Zelda universe. We just mailed that. He's out for delivery already. This is crazy. Joe is struggling with doors. And getting a treasure chart for his struggles. And Wynn's deciding to not go for Miller. Meanwhile, Joe seems to be setting up some kind of trick.
Yep, he's getting storage over on that rock there.
Yeah, and he stored the text from the King of Red Lions. I got that right. So now he's walking into the dark world. Yes, J-West is going for Dark Cancel. And to answer your question for Switch, no, we don't have to do the Splish Kaboom minigame. It's a possibility in the randomizer, but it's not used for the races. So basically, if you want to do it, you can add it in the options, but you also can't not in the races. Sadly, I'd love to see that. So apparently, it was now doing a trick called Dark Canceling. So the screen is completely black, but he still can move in that black world. So he's gonna be able to go to another island, which with that thing. Or are you gonna be able to break logic again?
It looks like he's going to Eastern Ferry, so
Yes.
I think we're going to be breaking some logic.
Also, it's time for my favorite game of this game. It's called the Small Key Game for Dragon Roost Cavern. If you guys guessed one, you won! Woo! And yes, he is playing as Cloud. There's a bunch of very nice skins for this game. You can play as pretty much everything. Saria, Samus, Simple flips. Everything is possible.
So Jay got into Eastern Fairy here.
Hmm. Let's see what he's gonna get for it. Friendly reminder that this is not in logic, so he can't find his direct progression here. But he might find progression for later, but no. he just found a pretty skull necklace. But we got to see door cancel.
It's not a trick I see often.
Nope, and when I say we got to see door cancel, we got to see pretty much just a black screen. But hey, that's a trick. Oh, Wins is gonna use his leaf. Okay, he's gonna try that again. He's gonna use the leaf to get to the area where the big key is usually hidden. There's also a tingle chest in that area, but we're not gonna be able to access it since we don't have the bombs yet. Unless we find them in the big key chest, which would be pretty fun. Jay Wiss is going back to Poppins. Oh, and Jay Wiss is back on Poppins. Gonna go check. Gonna go get his 200 rupees. Nothing but riches on Poppin. Nothing but riches. And looks like our friend Jay Witz is gonna go join Winslow Graham into Dagger Moose Cavern. All players are joining up. Oh. Interesting thing to note, you guys might have seen Joe is setting a particular angle for his boat. That's because when we use the Swift Sail, the wind direction changes in the direction that the boat is pointing to, and that allows us to set the wind in a particular direction for the dungeon. Hey, I call that bombs and big key chest. Wow. That's really lucky because he's gonna now be able to go get the tingle chest, which was on the way to that chest. I think this is the first time in a while I see this part of the dungeon being done in reverse. Just, like, you never go that way. Yes, please burn me. I know too much about the seed. I am in fact a witch.
No spoilers, Marco.
Oh, and a sink of small keys. Nice. Oh, and Jewis is trying to get dry storage to store the cutscene at the entrance of the Dragon Roost Cavern. Saves a few seconds if you get it quick. Doesn't seem like he's gonna save much now, but he got it anyway. It's very important to remember that doing every single trick, even if it's slow, is kind of hype. Dragon Roost Cavern map for wins. Also interesting to note, but we have 2 players that are being restreamed right now, but this is a race between 5 players. We have Neef, Wins Requiem, J-Wist, Tuberman, and Gas-Powered Pokey. They are all running for first place. Let's wish them luck. Oh man, I never thought I'd see the day. A guy called Jar being hyped about pot strats. It's in the family.
Jars and pots, you know?
Yeah. All content stuff. Also, this big key just has been found by Wins, followed by another key, but this time smaller. What is gonna be in the bird's nest? Nothing interesting. Looked like a map. Well, a shot, but... Oh, and Jay was getting sniped by the lava. Thankfully, Link is more resistant than the normal human and can keep going on after that. I had a friend that got hit by lava. Never saw him again.
Sad day.
And yes, this is a very good thing to note. Yes, your jaw. Jay never went for the basement, so he doesn't have the bombs to get the tingle chest that Win is getting right now. Also, he has to go get a bomb flower here to blow up the rock. Also, to specify, I may say blow up the rock a lot, but I mean no harm to the actor Dwayne The Rock Johnson. I mean no harm.
Very good to clarify yourself on that one.
I also mean no harm to the regime of Canada that is called The Rock. Please, don't put me on any government list. Oh, and the compass has been found. Now we know where all the small keys, the big keys, the maps and compass are, so we know that we're gonna have to check every single chest in Dragon Roost Cavern. Was a bit sad, but hey, makes the journey longer, makes the restream longer. All for it, man. And Jay walking up walls again, skipping, using the small key. Because there's a small key hidden in the basement, not the basement, but the big key chest area. So if you use storage here, you can walk up walls and get to the bird's nest by the outside. doing a spider link. Oh, and Jay getting his map. And then jumping off, avoiding out. That's why he entered the door just before, to set his spawn point to that door. He could void out and lose his storage state. And more rupees for wins.
Lots of rupees this game.
Yeah, it's a very capitalist seed. Remember, kids, if you want your seeds to have less rupees, always always name your character Karl Marx. It reduces capitalism for some reason. This is totally a real thing. I'm not making this up. It might have been luck on the few seeds I did that, but hey, it's empirical science. This is the last chest in Dragon Rose Cavern for wins, I believe. Except the two chests in front of the boss, but those two are very hard to miss. Oh, and Jay going for another little thread. Try to throw the pot closer to the door. If you do it right, you might get a very nice jump. It allows you to go there very fast. Sadly, didn't work. Wind's kind of starting with the magtail in front of the chest. Oh, and Moblin's leather. And more rupees, obviously. Oh, Wind's taking the fairy by accident. Thankfully, there's two fairies in the dungeon. Get a second chance. So after seeing all that, Melon, I'm curious, where do you think he's gonna go next?
Well, with a fairy in a bottle, I can only assume that he's gonna go save his grandma.
He also has bombs, which opens up the fairy on outset, so that would be a good play actually.
Yep, both checks on outset are able to be achieved.
Yes. I could see him go for the fairy island is close to Palprin too, since he has the bombs to open it now.
That is true.
Meanwhile, Jay West taking care of the Moblin. Or is he? Yay. Jay West being out of magic as to resort to using the grappling hook for this section. It's a bit slower, but it works.
As long as it gets the job done, you can't really complain, right?
Hey, Venos threats are good for Sometimes you gotta remember your roots, guys.
Wynn's finishing up with Goma.
There we go. That's gonna be the first rifle shard of the scene.
3 more to go.
Well, 7 if we count both players, but it was getting, you guessed it, more rupees. And he's now gonna go for the big key chest. Using yet again Vandal's threats. This is strange to say that he is using Vandal's threats after seeing him do Dark Cancel.
A man of many skills.
When you think he only knows how to glitch, he impresses you. By playing the game like Aonuma wanted.
Hey, get yourself a runner that can do both.
Yeah. Frame perfect grapple release, according to our tracker. Oh, and Wins seems to be saying that one dungeon wasn't enough. He's now going for Forbidden Woods. Normally, you need to get into Forbidden Woods by taking a detour into Forest Haven, but we're speedrunners. We don't have time for that. We found another way in, and that way involves a leaf, a boat, and a tornado.
Jaywiz finally got his bombs.
Oh man. He's gonna now go check the other Tingle chest as well. Probably, I think. Seems like it. Meanwhile, Wynn's taking a pit stop on the island on the middle of the way to Forbidden Woods. Yes, Jaywiz is now getting the second Tingle chest of the dungeon. This is the one dungeon in the game that has 2 Tingle chests. Those elusive little chests that are hidden until you bomb the shit out of them. So we're in Forbidden Woods without a boomerang. Unknown skill, but you can actually kill the highs on the doors and chests with the hookshot. You just have to remember that you need to do it twice for it to work. You know, I believe that it didn't work first time I tried, because I only tried once. Wynn's now trying to get a bit of storage on this ledge. Store the chest and then do the Spider-Man strats of climbing up the walls. Instead of using the...
These green keys are not agreeing with Wynn's though.
Yeah, the... Listen, Jello is sometimes very violent, and Wind Waker is one of those games where... Jello is very violent. And we got storage. Now it's time to climb up walls. Meanwhile, Jay almost landing into the lava. And that's another Goma that is gone from our game.
But another Triforce shard, so can you complain?
I mean, I could, but I won't. I've always... I just have one question about Goma. I never was quite sure if Goma was more of a lobster or a scorpion.
See, I always thought that she was a centipede of some sort.
Yeah. I mean, this is a game about the ocean, so it may very well be a lobster. Who knows?
That is true. You do have a point.
But at the same time, Goma is also the name of the spider-like thing in Ocarina of Time, and also Twilight Princess. So maybe it's a spider. It's confusing.
It doesn't look like a spider.
Lobster. Spider scorpion. Lobster.
Jay heading to save his grandma, I assume.
A very good choice. Saving grandmas is always good.
Always save your grandma.
Yeah, and the soup dupes that come with it are very nice.
Yes, her soup is the
Good.
best soup.
Yeah, soup dupe, man. It's the soup that keeps on giving. Very good point, Bingo. A lot of enemies in Zelda tend to like shapeshift between games.
Evolution.
Yeah, like the Wizards. When I played A Link to the Past, it was like, hey, those are little wizard guys. And then I played Wind Waker and was like, hey, why Stu can stand there? Oh, we're now getting to a very fun room of Forbidden Woods. It's basically a room where there's supposed to be a maze, puzzle, an enigma for the player to figure out. But we're just gonna break that. Get damaged by the vines, just kind of roll between the vines and the tree, and there you go. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3. What does the fairy have for us? It's a note to Mom! Which is pretty interesting because it's kind of a delayed item. Like, you mail that and then you get an item in the mail. So it might very well be a good check. Also, it's gonna be fun to see Jewis be able to combine he's gonna be able to combine getting the mail from Note to Mom and the one from Grandma. Because Grandma doesn't only give soup, she also gives a letter, which is another extra item for us. Don't worry about it, Syncvoin. I think that's how we pronounce that. Not sure. If I mispronounce your names, just yell at me in the chat, please. Also, I was gonna say, there's no dumb questions. We're here to answer all of your questions. If you have a question about the game, about the randomizer, go ahead. And Jay was taking time to send a note to mom before changing the time of the day. Because you need a day to night cycle to get mail from the note to mom. And also from grandma. So you get combine those. Also the letter for the bonds, which add common melody. And the hardest part of the boss room, the mini boss room, in Forbidden Woods without the boomerang is actually getting out of the room. Oh, mirror shield. Oh, and Jay was now warping to another fairy island. The southern worm, the southern one. Man, this word is hard. Pardon the messing with language, guys. In a treasure chart for wins. But now, Forbidden Woods hasn't been giving us extremely good items. Haven't found much. Oh, the wind's getting crashing right into a an acorn. Also, Jane just got a sword, which is very nice. And also to answer your question, Bingo, and so, yes, there's some skins that come with custom voice packs. Not all of them have them, but some of them do. So Jay now sailing to Angular, I believe. He just got the mirror shield, reflected on it, and thought, hey, I can do this just now. Also, disclaimer, if you guys believe in gravity, this might change. Do you believe in gravity, Melon?
Oh, gravity is just a suggestion.
Yeah. Look at that. Pushing a block without even touching it. And without moving the ones that are standing on it. Wow. Isaac Newton is angry now.
Everything we know about physics, not right.
The first time I did this island, the following night, the angry spirit of Isaac Newton just kind of haunted my house. So,
That's typical
Yeah.
of this trick, yeah.
it happens. You have to be okay with it. And yes, while I was talking about this, Wens did a very special trick. Basically, in the room where there's a lot of morts, you can get a trick called door storage. It allows you to you get storage, and then you open one door and open another one, and allows you to go out of bounds and get into the basement without using the boomerang, which is pretty useful because we don't have it right now. It gives us access to more checks in that basement, including this single chest that's just appearing now, the one in the trunk of the tree here, the one in front of the red flower, and the big key chest. Oh, and Jay now making the move. He's going for Bomb Island. An island that most players hate because it
What?
involves
It's
very precise
everyone's
throws.
favorite island.
I know a guy that once spent about 25 minutes on this island.
Because he loves it so much?
Mostly because his controller wasn't cooperating. Oh, and Jay throwing bombs. Because it's bomb island. Oh, well. And we just found double magic in this chest for wins. Well, magic is very nice to get just before district because we have to leave pump to the end of this corridor. And having extra magic makes it even more easy. Yes. Meanwhile, Jay was doing balancing act. Oh, and he gets the 3-point shot. And he gets the second one too. Grappling to the chest just to be sure. Oh, and we get the other arrow upgrade. We'll now have 99 arrows whenever we find a bow and arrow. They're gonna be loaded. Oh, just thought about it, but this is a seed where we get both. Yes, we don't have any bows yet. But we have a big quiver for when we have a bow and arrow. It's a surprise though. That will help us later. And Jay going for yet another fairy island. This one is the Thorn Fairy Island. While Wins is setting up to do Calidimus without the boomerang. He's gonna use bombs. The trick seems very simple. You have to hold your fire with the bomb and throw it at the bottom of the bus so it hits him through the plant. But it's pretty hard to do. I remember running out of bombs the first few times I did this trick. Let's hope that Win gets it. Jay just getting a map at this fairy island and decides to not even save. While Wins just did it. Just killed Calidimus with bombs. I get his second Triumph shard from this. And you guys are gonna get to see that the cutscene is a bit messed up. And also the boss room is a bit messed up after a fight with bombs. because the plant never fell down, so it's just hanging on the ceiling. So Forbidden Wood only had a few interesting items: double magic, the Inspiral, and the power bracelets. Not a bad haul, because we need the power bracelets to get into our temple, and we also need the Inspiral to get into Tower of the God. Those are our two last dungeons, so the key to both dungeons has been found. Is going for Bomb Island, I believe. While Jay entering Forbidden Woods, get all the items that Wens just got. He has an extra an extra sword though, which is pretty useful. It's not much fighting in this place, but it's gonna be useful at some point. Jay going for the Spider-Man strats again. Yeah, the bracelets are in the room before the boss, the double mutila room, as we call it. It's because it's the room where there's two Mouseless. Pretty self-explanatory. So right now, Wins is on Bomb Island. Where do you think is gonna go next, Melvin?
Good question. I am not great at Redding.
I mean, it's mostly a guess at this point because there's a bunch of places he could go to.
Yeah, I would assume that he's going to be doing some overworld checks before trying to tackle a dungeon again.
Yeah, it probably is. He's now getting his 99 arrow quiver, which will be insanely good if we had any arrows to shoot. So if you guys are curious about the rando or want to try it and are thinking, boy, there sure is a lot of glitches in this run. Remember, I have to remind you guys that every single seed that the randomizer generates can be completed without the use of any glitches. There's always a way to get through the game, even if you don't want to break the logic. So while our two players are kinda going through the same checks that the other one did before them and vice versa, I kind of wanted to thank Melon for commentating with me. Thank you, Melon.
Oh, of course. My pleasure.
And also thank Jared for tracking for us. even if he tracks stuff and then forgets about it 3 seconds later. Thank you, Ja. Jay, a bit too heavy from all those morts. Has to shed some weight. Quick spin the fat away. I wish I could do that in real life. Wins getting his Master Sword, which on the Cloud skin looks like a very big sword. I don't know the name for it because I haven't played enough Final Fantasy VII though.
Neither have I.
Yeah. Crazy thing is, I commented a round of Final Fantasy VII at some point, and I had no idea what was going on.
Sometimes you can just fake it.
Yeah, fake it. I fake a lot. I don't want to say I fake a lot, but can you explain to me what a Wind Waker is, please, Melon? I have no idea what's going on.
Um,
Is it like a meal that you can order at the restaurant? 2 Wind Wakers to go, please. Okay,
yeah, you got it.
according to our tracker, the Master Sword on the Cloud skin is the Ultima weapon, and that's according to our tracker, according to the mods page. So very solid info. It's info from a very reliable third end. I was about to say this is a very interesting strat from Jay, throwing bombs at the flying enemy.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, they're. I mean, looking at those guys killing enemies with bombs, I'm just like, oh, this is the way to go. Apparently, arson. It can't fight if it's exploded or something. The hardest part of the mini boss room, getting out of the room.
When you don't have the
It-
boomerang or arrows.
Oh. He got it. He got it. The absolute mad lad. There's another way to get out, but it takes a lot of time to get back to where you want to be after. You can
Yeah,
just say more if it doesn't work for you. Like it's a lot longer, but it's an option. I have done that in the past. Oh, Jay taking out a bunch more seeds before trying to get through the room and getting the Inspiro as the entrance to Tower of the God for him. Oh, and Jay is setting up for a door storage. If you guys missed it the first time, it's a good opportunity to see it again. We get storage from this ledge. Meanwhile, Wynn's getting a note to mom. What an inspiring display from Jay West. He had to shed some weight, and he just quick spinned the fat away, and also cut off all the jello from his life. Incredible! What a display of pure mental strength.
True inspiration.
Still keeping a Mort with him for moral support.
Sometimes
My
you
moral
need that
support.
Yes,
Yes,
Elijah,
ma'am.
we can talk to you.
Yes. I can see you, Elijah. Hmm. Oh man, this is the first time someone called Max that way. Thank you, Elijah. Oh, and a second Master Sword from Maggie's letter. It's very hard to say Blaze right now. They're kind of doing the same checks as the other one did before them. So when they both complete all those checks, it's going to be clearer. But for now, it's pretty hard to say who's in the lead. Also, not to forget that we have those two runners, Wins Requiem and J West, being restrained here, but we also have 300 runners running in this race. We have Neef, Tuberman, and Gaspard Pogi also running in the background. They're not being restrained, but if you guys want to check them out, you can probably find their streams somewhere. Oh, Wins deciding to be careful and trying to set the storage just in case he gets the pick the box. We know it's not gonna happen, but hey, a man can dream. Meanwhile, if for the people that are confused right now at Jwiss entering and going back to the room, there's a spawn point for bombs in that room. So he was probably farming for bombs, at least hoping for them. Gonna get his double magic now. Oh, and you all right, Jared? I kind of forgot about this, but yes, it's just to make the text bug when we don't have the picto box. Doesn't happen to me often.
Yeah, it's not often that we see the picto box this late in the run.
Yeah, it's very well done today. Oh, and Jay now on the way to Kaladimos. He's also gonna find him with bombs. Before that, though, one last chest in the double multiple room. And it's gonna be Power Bracelets. Meanwhile, Wynn's getting the Mirror Shield, which is very subtle on this skin, but trust me, it's there. Yeah, Kaladimos with bombs is, is pretty hard. Have you ever tried that, Melon?
I have not.
It's an experience. Let's just say that.
I've seen others attempt it as we have tonight, and
basically, you have to stand like at the edge of the boss, like right between the tentacles and the bulb, and throw the bombs at the right time. And if you hear the boss scream, it means you hit him.
yeah, I've seen that.
Oh, and that's 2. You need to bomb the boss 4 times, I believe. Sadly, that's a miss again. Another miss. Only 13 bombs left. Meanwhile, Wynn's messing up with gravity, angering the ghost of Isaac Newton. Oh, and a third bomb landing on Caladimus. And that's 4. Yes, we need to hit Caladimus with 4 bombs. It might have looked like more, but only 4 of those actually hit. It's pretty precise at box. We now have 2 runners with 6 rifle shots. That's actually pretty interesting, Elijah. Thank you. I didn't know that. Apparently, if you cut down the flower, it starts fighting you again.
I was not aware of this.
It's pretty interesting. That's a way to make the skip bots rematches thing be a lie. Like, you can rematch that boss. Oh, Wind God's already out, which is not useful in this seed, but does provide us with our music percent. If only we had bottle percent too.
We still have time to get there, Mark.
I really hope we do. I think one of the most common things I have seen on my seeds for bottles is to get. I always get a bottle on the transparent chest on Windfall, which makes sense because a transparent chest with something transparent in it does really match. But like, it's very well hidden. Yes, wins now in Earth Temple, which is a pretty solid choice because most of Tower of the God is a dungeon where you kind of need the arrows to get the most of it. So going for Earth Temple first is pretty nice. Meanwhile, Jay was getting his second sword from Maggie. And now Jay West seems to be going for our temple too. So we're gonna have once again all players in the same dungeon at the same time. Oh, and the first Picto box has been found. Picto box, very interesting item. 3 more locations are opened on Windfall thanks to that. So since they're both in the same dungeon, we can kind of see what the lead is, and it's pretty much a 2-room lead right now.
Oh my god, what the hell? Hold on. What?
Pins now doing a puzzle to open some more light to get another chest. Meanwhile, Jay was getting his Picto box too. So Wynn's having 2 keys decides to go for the left side of her temple, which is currently not the logic since we need the fire and ice arrows to normally get to that side. But there's a few tricks that you can do to get there anyway, including this one, flying with medley, opening the leaf, and grabbing the ledge. There's also a bomb boost that you can do, which is harder if you ask me, but some people prefer it. Taking care of the floor master. Floor masters are very annoying enemies. If they catch you, you're back to the beginning of the dungeon almost.
Yeah, the Floor Masters were not my favorite back when I was a kid.
Floor masters are scary too.
Yeah, they are.
Like you hit them and they start screaming wildly. So you're like, oh, is this bad? Oh god.
Yeah, when I was
And then
younger.
and then they grab you and you're just like, bad touch, no!
Yeah, when I was younger, I did not like Earth Temple very much.
It's a pretty creepy place.
Yeah, the
Just ambient music, there's almost no lights. Also at the end there's a ghost. There's ghosts.
ghosts and the redeads, they're not
Oh
They're
man, the
not the
redeads.
most pleasant.
I think the most pleasant enemy in the dungeon is actually the moblins that we're seeing right now.
Yes. The least scary, at least.
Thank you, moblins, for being somewhat nice. Oh, and Jay is following in Win's footstep and going for the left side too. Once again, it seems like there's a 2 rooms difference between the two of them. It seems to be getting tighter though.
Yeah, it's really hard to tell sometimes who's gonna win and who's in the lead and whatnot. But
Especially in a race like this where we may have 2 people being restrained, but we also have 3 people that are racing alongside them. This is a 5-man race. Like, while we are looking at those guys, one of the other one might be taking the win. Who knows?
that is true. It is completely possible.
I do have the SRL room open just in case that happens. So I will be able to keep you guys updated if one of the other racers finishes. Oh, and Wins is now at the mini boss room. A very hard mini boss that you completely can't skip with the hook shot and some aiming. This is just an illusion. He's an actual enemy, not someone that you can ignore. Oh, look at him ignore him. Oh boy. Oh, and Jay decides to not fight the enemies and do a roll clip. So basically, when you get up from a ledge near a corner like that, you can actually clip into that corner if you do it right. And Jay just did. And get to the rooms that are hidden behind that. Actually, Frozen Phoenix, the boss is not gone. He's just chilling in his boss room. He never got killed. It's kind of the mini boss equivalent of leaving someone on read. Peaceful afterlife. We never even woke up his buddies because there's 2 more Southals in the crypts. So caskets. Pacifist part of the run. And when getting the tingle chest for this dungeon, which is a bit out of the way, but not that much. Oh, this is the first rupee upgrade of the seed, which is interesting because the rupee upgrade unlocks another male check, so it might very well be a nice item in the making.
Yeah, hopefully we're gonna see some bows here soon.
Oh man, are you saying that we're long overdue for bows?
I mean, personally, I wouldn't mind some bows being in Hyrule, but
Oh man, are we gonna get on the first qualifier race, like the first seeding race? Are we gonna get a crazy thing like vanilla light arrows?
wouldn't that be a treat?
Oh man, that will be the full Wind Waker randomizer experience. Who knows? We don't have all the swords yet, so maybe we're getting a vanilla sword too.
What if we have sword and arrows?
Oh man, that would be the best. Like, if we get vanilla sword and vanilla bow in the same seed in the first seed of the tournament, I don't think we need a tournament. Like, we are at the top. We can't go farther. Jay was
Some
getting
trouble with that chest.
having some troubles with the bubble. Meanwhile, Wynn's getting a small key at the end of the Floor Master room. If you guys thought 1 month Floor Master was too much, there's a bunch in this room. Have fun!
The Room of Nightmares.
Oh man. The floor is monsters. You alright, Elijah? And even without... oh, another bottle. Halfway to bottle person. Even without the hook shot, the mini boss can be broken. Like, you can use a leaf bomb technique to get there too. So this boss gets ignored a lot. This is... Our temple small key. And Jay's gonna drink some soup. Because when you drink soup, you eat stuff harder. It's a well-known fact. And when you eat stuff harder... Hey. I wish I got stronger every time I drank soup. What do you bet the new soup, Grandma? Steroids! Now go on and save the world. A nice little trick here in the room that Wins is in. You can throw medley into the light and then just use your shield to skip doing the puzzle for this room. So we're now at the another crypt of this dungeon. There's the chest here. What is it going to be? The first bow. We have the first bow, guys.
It's about time.
1 hour and 36 minutes into the seed, we finally have a bow. And we have 99 arrows to use. We're gonna be able to be trigger happy on some of those last bosses.
Yeah, having a large quiver and double magic sure helps with the Ganon fight. Puppet Ganon.
Yeah, Puppet Ganon is gonna be a breeze with all that magic and all those arrows. Now it's just a matter of hitting them puppets. Which is easier said than done.
Very true.
So now we have wins in... Oh, this is trippy. This is one of the longest rooms in the game when you play the game normally. It's the mini mirrors room. But we found out that with enough glitching, everything is faster. So if we use this ray of light here, we can make this chest appear. Then if we direct the light just right, we're gonna be able to go at this point of the room after opening the chest. Oh, final Master Sword. The Vanilla Sword Dream is dead.
We still have light arrows, Mon.
Yes. I can't wait for it to happen. So as you can see, he is now using the ray of light that immediately produces to open an extra room and make the final chest of this room appear without moving a single mirror. And this is the boomerang. Neat. It's considered a progressive item, but a lot of players refuse to acknowledge that it's a progression item because they don't need it. We saw them complete Fartham Woods without it. And pop again in at the end. It can be sniped instead of using the boomerang. So other players just consider the boomerang to be useless. Personally, I think it's a very good back killer. One J West getting his final Master Sword. Hey, this is very close right now.
Yeah, only being a couple checks behind is anyone's game, really.
Yeah. Everything could happen at this point. Oh, our temple compass. So we're gonna have to glitch into the big key room. And to glitch in the big key room, what do we have to do? A backflip to start things off. We're gonna have to grab the ledge that you see here, and then do a roll clip into the wall. Did we just lose the...
Yeah, I think we did.
And we're in the big key room now. So, in the big key room, there's two little skulls that you can snipe before they came alive, which makes things much nicer.
I don't think they can hear us, huh?
Okay, so fire and ice arrows. We were complaining about it not having enough bows, and now the game is responding.
Earth Temple just has all those arrows. Well, bows, excuse me.
So fun fact, when the Dark Nuts is defending the shield, you can still hit the armor and break it, as demonstrated by J-West right now. Yes, this has been a very good air temple. A sword, 2 bows, and we had fun along the way, too. And that's very important.
It was a very fun temple so far.
Yeah. Also, now we're gonna have to fight Jahala. But what Jahala doesn't know is that we have the Hurricane Spin. This is gonna be more
Becomes
fun for
very
us than
handy.
it is for him. The only way that Jahala will be more in trouble is if we had light arrows on top of that. Because surprisingly, light arrows can make a Jahala go into the ball form. Us, that we can pick it up right away. And Wynn's already using the Hurricane Spin. We have a lot of magic, we have nothing to lose. Especially in Rando, because every time we save Warp, we get our magic back, which is very nice.
Yes.
So after the temple, where do you think he's gonna go? Is he gonna go straight for Tower of the God, or is he gonna go to Windfall? Do those pick the box checks?
Yeah, I think he's gonna do the fire and ice checks and the pick the box checks.
Yes.
Hopefully to get a go mode for Tower of the Gods here.
Yeah, there's five checks on Windfall that are open right now, so it would be very weird to not go there first.
True.
So we now have access to Needle Rock, Fire Mountain, and Ice Ring Island, which all could have some stuff. Oh, it looks like J-Wiz forgot that he has a Hurricane Spin. To be fair, it's not an item that we can track on our trackers, and most of the players also play with the speedrun tracker, which doesn't have a room for it. pretty easy to forget.
So Winds now just has one last dungeon to go.
Yeah.
Gonna be searching for those light arrows.
Yeah, if we get light arrows before going to Tartaga, that would be amazing for our players because they're going to be able to skip a lot of stuff in this dungeon. And by a
Yeah.
lot of stuff, I mean not much stuff because this dungeon is very linear.
Yeah, Tower of the Gods is pretty consistent.
Yeah, but they might be able to pull off one trick that is a randomizer exclusive. It's called the Tower of the God Big Key Skip. It involves a lot of Spider-Man stuff, so it could be fun to see. Oh, and the wallet upgrade only gave us rupees. And the letter from Baito, what is it gonna be? It's another bottle! 75% to the way of bottle percent.
See, I told you, we had nothing to worry about. One more bottle would go.
Oh yeah. Phasing through the floor. Floor, walls, same thing. Talking
All
about
just merely
walls.
suggestions.
Talking about walls and suggestions. We're about to see one probably. Because you can shoot a fire arrow through the wall of this, just as when demonstrates. This is good for the example. Disrespecting walls yet again. Also, yes, to answer the question from chat, yes, this is a mod to be playing as Cloud in Wind Waker. There's a bunch of models. I might actually just go and grab the list just to tell everyone what is possible.
Yeah,
Quickly.
people seem to want to know that. So. So Jay decided to go to Needle Rock instead of Windfall.
Interesting decision. And I have now a list of the models that are available. There's a Tetra model, there's a Medley model, there's a model for Sans, Lucario, Mela. There's also a model for Fado, Harold, Goku, Cheerleader Link, Zora Link, Saria, Simple Flips, Fox Link, Medley. I mean, I already said Medley, but there's a Sarcoded model. There's also a model for Grandma, one for Din, a model for Maggie, one for Cass, one for Shaggy if you want more memes in your life. There's a model for Vadi. There's also one for Pit, Dark Pit, Samus, Cloud, a Chocobo, Squall, Mart, Ganondorf, Ashley, Train Conductor Link, Tri-Suit Link, and Agent 9. There's a lot of them.
Yeah, that was a mouthful.
I haven't updated my models in a while, so I used the get up to get the list. It's a lot longer than I remember. Okay, so did I miss anything while I was reading all that?
So Jay Wist got money from Needle Rock, and I don't think I caught anything important from Wins.
Nope, we don't have light arrows yet, so I think we didn't miss anything.
Oh, Wins did get iron boots at one point. I can't remember what check.
Okay, that's not actually very useful in this seed, but it's nice for the completion of the tracker.
Boots were apparently Lenzo's left chest.
Nice. And more rupees from the transparent chest. Because we didn't have enough of those in this seed. It's a Capita seed. So the places where light arrows could be are getting thinner. Who knows? We might actually get vanilla. But there's a few
Vanilla
places.
Right.
Still places.
We have Fire and Ice. Well, Fire Mountain and Ice Rain.
Yes. We also,
Go ahead.
go ahead, actually. I don't know what I was going to say.
Oh, okay. The 2 checks in Hyrule.
Cabin indeed, if you found it, could be 2 more checks too.
Yep. Vanity can lead to 2 more checks.
Also, the entirety of Tower of the God, maybe.
That is true. You could have it in the last dungeon.
Also, could be one of those seeds where it could be behind Kevin Hadid, which could be in Tower of the God.
Yeah.
It's not gonna stop our players from entering, but could be annoying if you don't know glitches. But I think both of our players are very well aware of Kevin Hadid's skip, so it could be done before entering Tower of the God. That's
Yes.
implying that it's actually gonna be the deed is gonna be useful in any way. Also, to keep you guys updated, I have now checked if anyone finished in the race because we have 5 runners and nobody has finished yet. This is still ongoing, guys. Oh, that's my kind of evil, Elijah. I approve of this. Second Picto box in the light arrow chest, and then Minenko has light arrows. That would be true evil. So Ice Ring, we jump on the chest and then fly all the way to the last ice thing. Slash lot. Interesting thing about oh, battle person has been achieved.
We made
We got
it.
it, boys. We got it. All the containers are there. I know one guy that's gonna be happy that we found all those containers because he's a jaw. So for those of you that are interested, This is the first qualifying race for the seeding of the upcoming Wind Waker Randomizer tournament. There's a bunch of entrants. We're getting ready for that. But this week, there's a bunch of other races for seeding. A bunch of other states that are going to be played. This is the first one. There's another one on Wednesday, uh, aka tomorrow, at 2 p.m. is Eastern Time. There's also another one on Thursday at 6 p.m. and another one on Friday at 3 p.m. So if you guys want more Wind Waker in your lives, there's gonna be some this week. And Wins is now doing what I talked about. It's Cabinet Eat Skip. You get storage from a ledge, you open the chest outside of the island, and you go run into the corner of the door before pulling your hookshot and getting up to a tree behind the house to get into the warp zone, the loading zone. And you're in. Oh, light arrows found in Fire Mountain for J-Wist.
Jaywis can now go mode, Tower of the Gods.
This is official, guys. J-Wist is now in go mode. At 1 hour 55 minutes. It's happened. J-Wist that was one check behind wins for a long time in the state is now ahead of him a bit. Also, fun thing about Tower of the God Go mode, you get two more non-existent walls. Yes, existent walls. Honestly, at this point, I just expect them to not exist, so I don't even mention them anymore. But yes, the fun thing about Tower of the God is that once you finish dungeon, you pretty much get put right in front of the warp pot. And yes, right now this is a light arrow run hunt for wins. You just need that, and there's one more place to check. So. Everyone's get it. Oh, the big key. We don't need big key skip anymore. We get to do big key skip. Nice. I'm always down for skips. Don't know, Elijah. I think that bear skip is more interesting. Takes more items to do. Yeah, we're not gonna get to see Big Skip today, but do keep in mind that it's a thing that exists, and maybe you're gonna be able to see it on the next seed of this tournament. There's gonna be a bunch of seeds being played, so probably gonna be one time at least where it's gonna matter. So, if you guys didn't get the memo about walls yet, please, just watch. This is called floor one skip. can do it with the statue or a bomb. Basically, you push yourself out of bounds and basically go behind the wall to dodge the big waterfall and get to the second floor. So Wind Requiem is also now in go mode. He's gonna join J-Whist into the dungeon. Hey, knowing a lot about this game is not a bad thing, Terry.
This race is really close right now.
Yeah. And yes, you are right, Jar. Since
Wins
Wins
did not get it.
right away, he's gonna have to do Big Key Skip. So you guys are gonna get to see it. Aren't we a lucky bunch? We get to see all those cool skips on the first qualifying race. Oh, what's missing is a statue throw. It's okay, we can just reposition the statue. Also, with a nicely time rolled, you can get into the platform right away. No need to wait for the elevator. So, as we did mention earlier, toward the gods, go mode is actually pretty long because you still have to get all 3 statues.
Come on.
So we're now gonna get the second statue. Jay's using a technique called Crypmo Up. You get set up in the corner, do a backflip and then a side jump, and then call the statue. It's supposed to give you the right angle to jump 3 times across the pit, and Jay just did it. There's a bunch of setups for this room, but everyone has the one that they prefer. I think my favorite trick in the whole game has to be for the first statue in Tower of the God, Jack's Clip, which you just grab the statue through the floor, and was found by like a kid who just found it by accident, and it became a speedrun threat. A very small child found that. And now it's time to go for the third statue. So, normally you have to control the statue so it goes through the barrier with common melody, but if you call it and then roll away as soon as you do, hey, sing statues. It's not the same statues, but nice. And you fly away and grab it through the barrier. Oh, Wen's getting his Critmo up, or whatever setup he decided to use right over to. There's so many setups for this room. Critmo hop, Shrugmo hop. I could just like start creating names right now, and people could believe it's actual names for setups, since there are so many. And Jay finally found all the statues. So we get to go into a big warp zone and go fight another statue. It's a statue dungeon. Jay is too fancy to use the stairs, so he does a backflip. Get out the leaf and grab the ledge.
Stairs are for squares.
I already does that in real life too. Like apparently his roommates think it's very hot. Oh man, not a lot of magic left for Orphan J. If you guys are wondering why he opened that particular chest, it's because we need to open it to get access to an unlocked door here. Basically, the little statues will never start to move, and you will never be able to go through the grate on this door if you don't open the chest.
So Jay going up to fight Godan, right? That's what his name is?
Yes, that is his name. It's golden. Not to be confused for Goma, even if the letters are very similar.
That's why I caught myself. I was like, wait, no.
Isn't
yeah,
this golden?
It's Godan, or Godin, whatever.
Fun, interesting thing about golden. If you hit the hands with fire or ice arrows, the hands die in one hit. But this doesn't work on the eyes, which is why we switch back to regular arrows. Jay using his ice arrows, as mentioned. Also, Golden, if people remember him from other games, it might be because Nintendo loves to reuse that boss somehow. Meanwhile, Win's trying to set up his big key skip because he doesn't have the big key. So he needs to get storage from this chest.
Jay was finishing up with Godan here, getting his last Triforce shot.
Yeah, I'd say it's a dead Golden, but they make it very clear that he just goes back to sleep.
It's true.
I'm done with you. Have a good night. That's Golden. So now that he has a storage, chest storage, Win resets the wind direction. Because he's gonna have to do some Spider-Man stuff. And Jay remembered to pick up the shard. Nice. Not picking up shards as custom races to racers before. So. Some even in the grand finals of the last tournament. So it's that very specific shard too. The runner gymnast forgot that one, if I recall. He even took the time to take a picture of the trifle shard he forgot, because I kept making jokes about that. I have too much power, stop listening to me, guys. And we're through. That's how you skip the big key. It involves disrespecting walls another time. So in this game, we disrespect walls a lot. But there's one thing that we respect. It's called the barrier. Completely different from a wall, even if it acts like the same thing. And to respect the barrier, we have to gather a bunch of items. Rifle shards, light arrows, a master sword, and we get to do barrier skip skip. Or in this case, we did Hurricane Spin, barrier skip skip. It's even better. It's funny that he remembered about doing that, but didn't use the Hurricane Spin in the boss Jahala before. He didn't use it on Jahala, but he used it for the bear. And I'm very glad he did.
Priorities, Marco.
Yes, priorities. I mean, when runners do things like that, you get very good at questions for the interview, so that's amazing.
That is very true.
So if you guys are wondering why Wins is rolling under Golden while he's about to shoot, it's because it cancels the lasers. Shoutouts to this particular Dark Knight that Jay was just went back. You can't see it, but he follows you to his doom. Like he just goes into the void to be a god. It's amazing. Dedication. So, as mentioned in the settings earlier, we don't do the boss rematches, so the door is well open. All we need to do is take care of a Phantom Ganon and some stairs before reaching Puppet Ganon. Phantom Ganon making a special guest appearance in this seed, because we never saw him before. It's a cameo.
A very short one.
Yes, very short-lived. Yep, he's gone forever now. I mean, I'd say he just died, but he was already a phantom, so what does that make him? More dead? Or is it like in maths where two negatives become a positive or something?
Perhaps he's alive
now. Is he alive now? That's the question. Please, Matt, overload. Answer. Oh, Jay missing the Dark Knot. But it's okay because we have a bunch more arrows.
We've got the arrows and magic.
Yeah. And Wins also getting his bear skip skip. First time. Click the button B at the right place. Amazing. Woo. Oh, first snipe for Jay. And 2. To end this phase, he needs a third one. And he got it. A pretty quick Puppet Ganon phase 1.
Fairly clean.
Yeah. And it's now time for phase 2. The spider phase.
Last phase of Puppet Ganon?
Yeah, the snake phase.
Yes, Elijah, Jay did hit crit shot.
And he's trying for another type of shot that I always forget the name of.
Trog shot, I believe.
Rock shot, yes. There's so many shots. It's almost like a very bad night at the bar. Too many shots. Oh, we got that! Oh my god.
Wow.
The arrow went before the snake turned and it hit the tail. Wow. That's very precise. Meanwhile, wins dealing with the enemies on the way to success. So all is left now for Jay is to climb up and go face Ganondorf. Maybe the final boss of the game, but he's pretty weak compared to the puppet we just fought. Oh, Wynn's missing this first snipe. But it's alright, we have time for other snipes. We have a lot of arrows, we have a lot of magic. And that's a first shot. Anyways, drinking some soup before facing the final enemy of the game. Which we start by doing absolutely nothing and waiting for Zelda to shoot an arrow at him. And that's phase 1 complete for Wins. And also for Jay Wiz, because that was a phase 1 of Ganondorf also. With the double damage from the soup, if we hit one combo, that's done with phase 2. We talk to Zelda again, she's gonna aim at us. But we have a mirror shit, so this is now the end of the seed for J-Wist. You guys can send your GGs in the chat. And yes, J-Wist has finished in first place with a time of 2 hours, 18 minutes and 15 seconds. He's the first to finish out of the 5 runners. GG's in the chat, guys. That was a very nice seed.
It was very close.
Yeah, goes all the way. Wins ahead for most of the race, but by not much. And then Jay was finding his light arrows first.
Yeah, it
sealing the
really
deal.
came down to that call on where to go first for
Yeah.
the light arrows.
At some point, a randomizer is that like you have to be lucky sometimes.
Yeah, luck plays a big part in finding certain items, that's for sure.
Yeah, you never know where they're gonna be. So it's that kind of game. So curious, are we gonna get an interview with Jay West so soon?
I'm not sure.
Oh, he's in the waiting room. And hello, Jay West, GG.
Greetings.
GG. That was quite a steed.
Yeah, no, I was near the end. I did not know. I was considering just diving into Tower of the Gods, but
Oh man. But in the end,
yeah,
you
I was
went
considering.
for. In the end, you went for Fire Mountain, which was a good call, actually, because for most of the race, Winds was ahead of you by like 2 or 3 rooms in each dungeon, and then you went for Fire Mountain first, and just like that, you were ahead of him.
Oh yeah, did he go to Tower of the Gods first? I'm assuming.
No, he just did a bunch more overworld checks, like he did Kevin the Deed skip and stuff.
Oh, okay. Well, like I didn't have that much overworld left.
So I have a good question for you, Jay.
Yeah.
You use Hurricane Spin to break the barrier at the end, but you didn't use it on Jahala. Any particular reason?
I don't like using it on Jahala because I occasionally mess it up and then don't get like the cycle right.
That's fair though. That's fair, but
Yeah.
it's the one time you get the Scout Towel roll. Use it.
No, I'd
Sometimes you gotta
prefer
do what works best.
I'd prefer ending the game without Hurricane Spin rather with, because I'd rather have a charge attack on Ganon in
True.
the end. You
Yes,
just have to do
it's true
3 quick
that
spins if you don't have it.
it really does sometimes. But hey, you did well, man. That especially that puppet Ganon, like you hit almost
yeah.
every trick in the book. That went well, man.
I didn't get Trog Shot, but that last snipe, I was questioning. I was like, that might work. And I was like, oh, I'll take it.
You were close though. You were close. That first phase 2 was very clean. So
Yeah, first phase was pretty good.
and you finished first, by the way, if you didn't know.
I saw that, yeah.
How does it feel?
I was nervous because, like, yeah, we have the IRC up, so, like, I know nobody's finished yet. And it's like, okay, when is Win's gonna finish?
When is Wiz gonna finish? When is Neve gonna finish?
Yeah,
Is
Neve.
Pogi gonna pull a sneaky on us? Who knows?
But then I got light arrows, and I'm like, okay, if people dove into Tower of the Gods, then I should be good. If people are full clearing and I'm not. I wanted to do big key skip, but I got the big key, so I was like, nope, not doing it.
Yeah, that was another difference in Tower of the God. You went left first, so you got your big key, and Wins went right first, so he got a small key before the big key, so he had to do a big key skip.
Yeah. I mean, it's probably faster to do big key skip than doing that whole left side.
Yeah.
Like, it's not that much, but, like, big key skip isn't that hard if you get the bomb dive storage consistently.
That is true. And Wins now finishing the seed. Send your
Yep.
GGs in the chat again for Wins Requiem. We'll finish in second place with a time of 2 hours, 22 minutes, and 58 seconds. Also, I have to talk to you about a little something that you did near the beginning of the seed, Jay West.
Are you talking door cancel?
Door cancel. Yes, door cancel. This
So,
is the-
because I don't use it that much, but like I theorized about it. It's like if you have to go to that area, you can get door cancel and then get all of the things in pop print with
Yeah.
just the grappling hook and the leaf.
Yeah, that's true. But Like, I wasn't expecting to have to explain door cancel in the first seed of the
Yeah,
tournament.
door cancel's an interesting one.
Yes.
It was definitely a surprise.
And like it's the worst. It's the worst trick visually because like nobody sees anything.
Oh yeah, you don't see anything.
It's just a
That's the
black
point of it.
screen, and then you have an item.
Hey,
Okay.
you see my mini map? It's okay.
Yeah. Yeah, when you're not on the sea.
Oh yeah.
Oh well, that was nice to see. We got to see a bunch of interesting tricks actually, including like the big key escape for Tower of the Gods, which is a rando exclusive, which is always nice to see. Also, a bunch of roll clips from both of you. It was fun. It was
Yeah,
fun.
the roll clips are fast. The only time that I don't roll clip in the uh, left side of Earth Temple is when you have like light arrows.
Yeah, night arrows just make the
Because then,
fight so fast that you don't need to.
yeah, it's definitely faster just to kill them. And then you end up being able to jump slash too onto the first two steps, which is a minor time save, I guess.
Mm-mm. And as I said, we also have three more runners that are running right now. Neve, Tubaman, and Gaspar Pogi. They haven't finished yet, but I have the SRL room open, so if that happens, I will tell you.
Neef did just finish.
Oh, you just finished. Nice.
Yep. 2 hours, 25 minutes, and 3 seconds. Pretty
Nice. So we have our top three for this race. So how do you feel about this seed in general, Jay?
It was definitely interesting. I was questioning, like, the hardest decision for me was for sure the DRC or Forbidden Woods. That was probably
Yeah.
the hardest decision because DRC is bad without bombs, but then bombs were in the big key chest after I did small key skip and did all of that.
Yeah, I still can't believe that I called that one. Like I said, oh, our bomb's gonna be in the big key chest, and then it happened, and I was
Yeah, it
sad.
was nice. It was nice too because I only had to get one of the tingle chests when I came back because
Yeah,
the the tingle chest in the boss key area was guaranteed to be a small key.
yeah.
I didn't need it.
Actually, I think what made wins take a lead on you in the early game was that when you got into the RC, you went for the big key chest first.
He went for the big key
Like
chest first.
not first, but like he
Oh,
did the what's in on the right side,
that right
and then
side,
went
yeah.
for that. Yeah.
Okay,
So he
yeah.
got his bombs a bit earlier than you.
Yeah, so he also didn't have to do like any of the skips, I'm guessing.
He didn't do the small key skip. No.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's no point in doing small key skip because he should have gone back and gotten the tingle chest then.
Exactly. Yes. No need to do big small key skip when you can do a small key skip.
I don't know, that's like it's not that much difference in time though there doing one or the other.
No, there's not much of a difference, but when you have the small key, why not use it?
Yeah, yeah. No, like it's definitely faster to use the small key if you do that back area first, but
That is
I'd never
true.
do the back area first because of small key skip.
So you just finished first on this qualifying race, but we have a bunch more qualifying races in the week that are coming. This was the first one. There's another one tomorrow at 2 p.m. There's also another one Thursday at 6 p.m. EST. And last one on Friday at 3 p.m. EST yet again. So if you guys want to see more Wind Waker, it's probably going to happen this week. If you miss it, there's going to be a wall tournament after that because we're doing these qualifying races to get seedings for the actual tournament. So there's a lot more Wind Waker randomizer coming your way. So Jay, how do you feel getting a first place in this qualifying race? Do you think you're going to be seated very high because of that?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know how they're gonna. I mean, none of us really know exactly how the seating's gonna work.
It's a big
But
mystery, man.
yeah, it feels good.
Apparently, this is going to be
Obviously, Jim and Linkus and Trog, and who else am I missing? Like none of them were competing in this race, and they could all easily beat me.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how the World Tournament like kind of falls into motion. Like I can't wait to see that. So I don't know if we're gonna get wins for an interview. So this is the question.
No, he's not.
No, it's not. Okay. So I think that's about it. Melon, do you have a question for Jake before we leave?
No, I think you covered everything, Monko.
Sorry about that. I talked
That's
too much.
Congratulations, Jay.
Thanks.
Yeah. Honestly, it was very interesting to see. Like, it was a perfect showcase of the randomizer in a way because you did so many skips.
Yeah, I had a lot of skips. Like that's the first time that I've actually used door cancel in a race.
I was gonna say,
I've thought
see that
about it
trick
before,
often.
but yeah.
It's not a trick you see every day. Actually, it's not even a trick that you see because the screen is black. But
Well, yeah, it's really slow too.
yeah, because every time you pause like to see where you are, you don't move.
Yeah. I paused way too much. I should have just let myself go a lot farther.
Yeah, it's hard to trust the game to take you where you want when you don't see anything, though. So it's pretty fair of you to do that.
Yeah, I didn't want to overshoot it because then it's like, oh no, now we're at my... we ended up at Fire Mountain. Just get into the load zone of... Okay, I wonder, can you... I don't think... There's no way that you can get into the load zone of Fire Mountain. I refuse to believe that that's a
don't
thing.
think you can. No, I don't think you can.
It's too high.
Like, I actually like theorize about this place. Oh, also, two women finishing in 4th place with a time of 2:30 and 40 seconds. Like the first time I saw Diamond Step early, I was like, oh, can we do that with other squids in the game?
Wait, now I'm curious. I feel like you might... So, if you have door cancel, if you get underneath Bomb Island or Fire Mountain, do you somehow clip onto that? Is that a solid surface? Is my question.
Oh man, I have never tested that. I think
You're
that's gonna
asking
be
the wrong people.
yeah,
It does a lot of damage to you, but you could, if you kept door cancel after dying, you could hover to the low. Oh, but then you're dead anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Man, there's so many things that we still are finding out about in this game. It's kind of a whole game already, but we are still finding stuff like, just for an example, in Wind Waker SD, like the speed run, they found bear skip this year, which was amazing. So we're still learning about this, and I think that Rando is a big place where a lot of tricks that don't really get much use in the actual speedrun get to shine. Like, you showcase a bunch of tricks that we never really see, but are in the game. It's nice to see.
Yeah, I feel like I did one other skip that was something, but I don't remember what it was.
Bear skip.
Oh, Barry skip. Yeah.
Yeah, man, that one big trick. That. I mean, you even had the Hurricane spin to like not to have to do a frame perfect B press.
Yeah.
That was amazing. So, I'm curious. Do we just like end this right now, or?
Tuba just
Shadow
finished, by the way. Or 2:30:40.
Yes, I already said that.
Oh, my bad.
It's alright. The only racer left in this race is actually Gaspard Poggi. If you guys want to go see his stream, maybe. If you want more Wind Waker in your life, like, you can do that. So, I'm curious. So,
Anything else here before we wrap it up?
Not really. I think we covered everything in the interview. The second player is not coming either, so. And we already plugged the other qualifying races in the rest of the week, so we're pretty much done, man. Does anyone have like a final word to say or something?
If anybody wants to get involved in racing, join the racing Discord. There's a link to it from the normal Wind Waker randomizer Discord.
Yeah, it's pretty important. Like that's where most of the big runners actually want look for races and stuff. Also, good place to learn new tricks. And also, if you guys watch this and were like, "Oh, that's way too many tricks. I can play Wind Waker randomizer." That's not true, because every single seed that the randomizer generates can be completed without using a single glitch. Every seed is completable, so if you guys want to play it for fun, it's also something that you can do. There's a bunch more settings that we don't use in the race. Like, I think there's 300 checks or 303 checks possible in this rando, so there's a lot of fun to be had even if you're not a speedrunner. So yeah, I think that's it.
And before we go, just to let everybody know, if you want more Wind Waker Randomizer, tomorrow at 2 p.m. there's going to be another seeding match.
Nice.
Should also be here on CSR. A couple other things going on tomorrow. We have grand finals for the Breath of the Wild 90% tournament, and some Challenge Cup, Link to the Past Challenge Cup matches going on tomorrow as well.
A lot of stuff.
Yep, lots of things.
So just before we leave, I want to thank our tracker Jared, which already left, but he did a good job, and also I want to thank Melon for commenting with me. Thank you, Melon.
Yeah, thanks for joining me, Mod.
No problem. Even if I talk too much.
It's okay.
And once again, congrats Jwiss for winning this one. It was a
Yeah,
good race.
Yeah, GG to everybody. I definitely feel like I got lucky on a lot of things.
Hey, sometimes in a randomizer, getting lucky is part of the game, man.
It's almost like it's
Gotta invest in that luck stat. A luck build.